Welcome to the fish tank.
Hey everybody, Fishman here. This is the pump that prompted me to put this little video together. I was kind of in the process of making it anyway, but when I pulled this off the tank, this is the one that was on the big heavy tank I had to move on Friday, and it just reminded me of the change in quality in pumps. 15 or 20 years ago, I had put this together for the client. I had done a conversion for them from their old tank to the current one. And I'm not even sure if this wasn't the original pump, which means it could be 20 years old. Plus. But we'll just call it 15. And if I could buy a pump today that I could say is going to be worry-free for even 5 years, I would be very happy. It just doesn't happen anymore. I've bought a lot of pumps in the last little while, and especially the small ones, the small little utility ones I use for some of the projects, they're just getting to the point where I don't even know if they're going to work a few weeks from now. In the next clip, there's a pump I'm going to show you. It has a couple of cracks in it. It is about 8 months old, and like I said, I bought, again, probably about 8 of these since the fall. And only one of them is still working. This one cracked this week. That little spot there, the one on the left, that crack ended up causing water to spray up into the canopy, and that dripped onto the floor. And for me, that is the worst kind of no-no. That's something that just never happens for a client. You just never want water on the floor. It's bad enough when they break down, and like this one here, this is another, same brand, same everything. It was running this planter filter. I only go to the client every 2 or 3 weeks, and sometime between one visit and the next, it's completely died, and it ended up resulting in all the plants dying except probably the pothos. I suspect it will come back. They're pretty hardy plants. So I converted to air. So now just a piece of acrylic pipe goes down in the tank. There's an air stone in there, and it is supplying more than enough flow for this particular setup. And I think I will probably be doing a lot of conversions like this. Not necessarily this style of conversion, but I think I'm going to go with as much air driven as I can, because I can't have water on the floor. If this pump dies, all that's going to happen is it's just not going to stop bubbling. And usually with air pumps, there's a lead up to it. It'll start making noise. It'll start producing less air. It doesn't just fail usually. And they're easy to replace, and actually less than half the price of a water pump. So actually I think I'm going to head that way. And this is a betta tank I made for a client's daughter. I put a video up for that a while back. And in that time, the pump started making noise, and then it just died. And like I said, it's not that old. And this story is repeated a number of times. By the way, my cat will not eat the pothos. You don't have to worry about him, but he has this thing for spider plants. I don't know why. He just likes to chew on them and play in the water and everything. So I had to get this converted quite quickly, because there wouldn't have been any plants left at all. So I'm going to convert this to air. It's not actually deep enough for a good air conversion, but it's quieter. So I'm going to do is going to pull the material out of here, and then all I need to do is widen that hole. So I'll just take that tray out, run a drill through it, and widen it up to 1 inch. And then I'm going to put in a piece of clear acrylic with some holes drilled at the bottom, just enough so that the batter won't get sucked up into it. And then I'm going to take a piece of rigid airline tubing and an air stone and put that in there. And the conversion's done. It was very straightforward. The flow rate's a little slower, but the thing is, bettas don't really require a lot of flow. And once it's all set up and running, it will be reliable. And all I need to do if I have an issue with an air pump is keep a couple spares in the car. I mean, a good quality, well, reasonable quality air pump is less than $20. So I can have 1 or 2 kicking around, and if there's an issue, I can hear a sound or whatever, I can pop one out, put another one in 2 seconds, and there's no problem. So I think this is definitely going to be a route I'm going to be going for especially a lot of these smaller builds. I mean, I've had 2 pumps crack, resulting in water on the floor in the last couple of months, and that's, like I said, not acceptable. This is something I just can't have happen, period. And this will prevent a lot of that. It means I'm going to have to convert a lot of things. I have to figure out how to make a diatom filter that doesn't really require a water pump. That's going to be interesting. And most of the other conversions are actually fairly straightforward, but I'm going to have to start working on how to make air-driven better. In the comments below, just let me know what you think of current water pump qualities. If you have any stories, I'd be interested in hearing them. And of course, if you like this style of video, please like and or subscribe. And like I said, definitely leave lots of comments. I am curious. Am I the only one who's just got some really bad luck with these things, or have they really gone that far downhill? I kind of figure which way it's going to go, but just let me know anyway. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.